How to prioritize what to study. So you started your A-levels, you started your GCSE, and for university, you're going to start early in October. So this is also going to be very beneficial for you to be 3 steps ahead of the game. Now, as you're starting this new academic year, you're getting bombarded by all these subjects that you have to study and revise. You're getting bombarded by all these topics that you have to study and revise. And you feel very overwhelmed because in your head, you're like, what do I even work on? Like, what do I study on? Which one do I study first? How much effort and time do I have to put in all these subjects? And you go and ask that question and you get that generic answer. Make sure that you put equal amount of time and effort in all your subjects. That's very important. That's complete rubbish, and I will tell you why. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 steps on how you can prioritize how you're studying so that you can reduce your stress levels, feel more relaxed, and get the most efficient, productive output from your studies and work. And remember this, I am not going to say what the general population or the general consensus says. I'm going to say based on my experience, and hopefully you'll be able to get value from this video. And if it does, give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. So the first step that you have to do to prioritize what to study is figure out what subject topic you struggled with the most. This is very important. When all these people are saying, oh, put equal amount of time for all your subject, it doesn't make sense. And I'm going to explain to you why. Let's say, for example, maths is your weakest subject. And I put here modules, it doesn't matter. The principle says the same. Let's say, okay, maths is your weakest subject and chemistry is a stronger subject. You're fantastic at it. Are you going to put the same amount of time that you revise for chemistry as you do for maths? No, you wouldn't, because one of those subjects is your stronger subjects. The other one is your weakest. So what you need to do is figure out, okay, which one is my weakest, because that is what you are going to prioritize. There is no point in you prioritizing your stronger subjects. It's just an ego boost, right? When people revise their stronger subjects and they get their full marks or they understand everything, it's just to boost their ego. It's just to make them feel good. But you have to realize there's no point in doing something that is easy and is easy to you. You got to go towards the things that you struggle with. That is where you learn and that is where you're going to grow. So you need to first figure out, okay, what subjects or even topics or modules you struggle with the most, and then kind of rank it if you like. I put here easy, difficult, very difficult, but maybe you can rank it from 1 to 10. 10 being the most difficult, 1 being the most easy, or whichever way is easier for you, right? So figure out which ones you struggle with the most. That's the first step that you have to do when you're prioritizing what to study, because the ones that you find difficult, that is what you're going to study first. Don't worry about your stronger subjects. There's a reason why it's your stronger subjects. You don't need to spend as much time on something that you're very good at compared to something you suck at, right? The things that you suck at is where you want to spend a bit more time, a bit more effort, because you need to improve that. You need to get that level up to a certain level. So that's what you want to focus on. So first step is figure out what subjects, topics, or modules you struggle with the most. The second step is you want to plan how long you're going to study these topics or subject for. So once you figure out the most difficult subjects, now you need to have a plan. Okay, I struggle with maths, I struggle with these topics. How long am I going to spend on each of these topics? And what you'll realize is you're probably going to spend more time on those topics that you struggle with compared to the ones that you don't struggle with as much, if that makes sense. So if that even means, okay, I need to spend 2 hours on this certain topic, so be it. You might see that, okay, even after spending 2 hours, you might need extra time. That's fine, no problem. You need to be able to put time and effort on those weaker subjects first. So it might require you to put a bit more time. That's not a problem. Don't worry, because at the beginning, you're going to have to put a lot more time. But once you start understanding and things starts clicking, the time and effort that you're going to put on that subjects starts reducing. So you see, this is how you strategize. This is how you prioritize, right? As opposed to, oh, let me just do everything equally. It doesn't make sense. You're wasting time and valuable resources. So once you figure those kind of subjects that you struggle with, make sure you know, okay, how long you're going to spend time with. And remember, this is just an estimate. It doesn't have to be accurate. Here I said, okay, module 1, 2 hours. You might require more than 2 hours. You might require less than 2 hours. It's all trial and error. So don't be so fixated on, okay, I need to do all this topic in this amount of time. You have to be flexible and you have to be able to adapt. So make sure you know how long you're going to spend time and effort studying or working on these topics and subjects, and make it consistent. So this is not something that you do for 1 day or 2 days. You do this on a weekly basis until you get it to a level where you're most comfortable with and you're able to get better marks and higher grade. So that is also very important. The third step is you have to be aware of deadlines. So what do I mean by this? There's going to be certain subject topics that will require you to do coursework or control assessment or even a test. So say, for example, you're studying, you're working right now, but you've got a test coming up in 2 weeks or a coursework that you have to give in 2 weeks. this takes priority because the deadline is very soon. So you want to make sure that you prioritize this first. And this is why you've got to be careful. Certain subjects, certain modules might require you to do tests early on. So if that's the case, you want to make sure that you prioritize this first amongst everything else. And that is what you want to study and work on right now. So make sure you look at your deadlines for each of your subjects, topics, and see if there's any deadlines that's coming soon. Prioritize that first. Make sure you get that out of the way and then focus on the other things. So hopefully you've taken value from this video, and if you have, give this video a big thumbs up. And remember this, everything starts from zero. When are you going to start? Peace.